they need to hear the truth. They don't know that when they come to me. But what I consistently get back is, I've heard I can deliver a gut punch with a feather, is how to live life on life's terms. And that includes having conscious contact with a power greater than yourself, asking for power for their will and the power to carry that out, you know? And so that is where, when I started developing, and there's certain things in there that you do that I learned how, that again, it was not a moral failure.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't broken.
Yeah.
I had a disease. That is what actually,
I love that.
I mean, that is how things manifest.
Yeah.
Like, that is, we were put on this earth to manifest through our creativity,
yes.
through see what's possible and what we can create.
Today we're exploring what it means to truly come home to ourselves, to rebuild self-trust after years of living from expectation instead of essence. I am so pleased and grateful to introduce Mary Addison Yates, who works as a life and empowerment coach, ICF certified, supporting high-capacity women who, as she describes it, outwardly appear strong, accomplished, and centered, yet inwardly struggle with trusting themselves. Mary Addison, it's wonderful to have you here on If We Are One. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm delighted to be here, Joe. Thank you so much for asking me.
Absolutely, absolutely. What I like to do, as I would normally do at the beginning of each episode, is I always start with the statement, or not the statement, but the phrase, if we are one. So I'm going to turn that over and give that to you. So if I were to ask you, how would you finish that phrase? It could either be a question or a statement. If we are one.
If we are one, it has so many different facets to it, right? You have the one consciousness, the group consciousness, and when we are one with ourselves and in alignment with our Creator, that feels like wholeness and oneness. We are also one of the sentient beings of every human, every plant, every insect, every animal on this planet. And so something that affects one person affects us all.
Absolutely.
And I have learned that the only thing that I can control are my actions and my attitude. And when I take responsibility for that and I do the things that I get to do to be in alignment and one with my Creator, which to me is just simply unconditional love, then I have a good chance of being a positive contribution to the world.
Absolutely. You have to have the right mindset. That's great. That's great. I love that. So that ties in very nicely with the work that you do. Tell me a little more about your role as a life empowerment coach, and even more specifically, I'm fascinated with the area of focus that you place it on with the empowerment of women.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell me a little more about that.
Yeah, so even going back to that concept, we are one, we are all conditioned because of the society we live in, because of patriarchy, because of capitalism. We are all conditioned that we have to be a certain way.
Yes.
And that inevitably disconnects us from our intuition, from our truth, from our bodies, because from whatever happens from the ages of 0 to 7 when we are in that meditative state, being programmed by whatever's around us, however our brain perceives, we have to obtain safety, security, love, and belonging, then it makes decisions and programs. And for me, I didn't understand how harmful it is to be disconnected from yourself. And that started at a young age of, I was the nurturer, because through no fault of their own, I think all parents do the very best they can. I just didn't feel a sense of emotional safety. And so I nurtured and took care of everyone else. And that led to people pleasing and perfectionism. I have big feelings, I'm super sensitive, and it was really hard for me to live in a little body that didn't understand how to process that. And so I probably dissociated a lot of the time, and then when I was 14 or 15, I found drugs and alcohol, and I slowly but surely, kind of quickly, I don't know, became an addict, and basically lived hell on earth in the sense that I was completely disconnected, walking around as a shell of a human being. And then when I eventually kind of tried to stay abstinent before I got in recovery, like all the feelings started rushing back in, but I still didn't know what to do with them. So I used control, I used my job, I used bossing around my spouse, like anything I could possibly do to feel a sense of control. Because I didn't understand that I was so disconnected. And so what happens is women are making decisions, like many things in my life, it's just so, it's the small things that you don't trust yourself. You're so detached. You're not confused. You think you're confused. You think you don't know how to make the right decision, but the simple fact is you don't trust yourself. Because you've abandoned the part of yourself that allows you access to that. Again, not necessarily on purpose. And then you're living this life, and everything on the outside looks amazing. I did exactly what Walt Disney told me to do. I got the husband, and the 2 kids, and the 2 cars, and the dog, and I was miserable. And on top of being miserable, I felt guilty for being miserable because I had such a picture-perfect life on the outside.
Looked great on paper, but
right. And so, from getting sober and into recovery from 2013 up to this point has been, how do I come home to myself?
What was the turning point for you? When did you finally start to have that sense of awareness that what you're doing isn't working and you had to try something different?
Well, there's a saying in recovery, it's like, and this is what also gives me hope for the state of the world today, is that no one could have done anything to make me get sober. So if you have anyone in your life suffering from addiction, they're not a bad person. It's not that they don't love you enough. It's that they're not capable and they don't understand they have a disease. And so there was an incident that happened that scared me. And that made me turn into, from a blackout drinker to just maybe eventually somehow once a year for about 5 years, and I was still insane because I didn't have my solution of my numbing mechanism, and I didn't have a solution on how to live life on life's terms. So when I got into 12-step recovery, what happened for me is part of that whole, the principles behind that is how to live life on life's terms. And that includes having conscious contact with a power greater than yourself, asking for power for their will and the power to carry that out, And so that is where, when I started developing, and there's certain things in there that you do that I learned how, that again, it was not a moral failure.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't broken.
Yeah.
I had a disease. And that made me do things that there's nothing anyone could ever do that would shock me. There's no woman who could come to me and tell me anything that I would bat an eye about.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you've lived my life
Mm-hmm.
in that sense, you know, there's nothing that could shock me.
Well, your journey mirrors in a major way so many other people's journey, especially like in the young ages. You didn't know what you didn't know. I think all of us at a certain point can attest to that.
Mm-hmm.
But you maybe had an innate sense that something was off,
Mm-hmm.
but you just couldn't put your
No.
finger on it. You do the best you can with what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully when you know better, you do better, but still, you got to go through the pits and falls and
Yes.
make the mistakes and have the pain to kind of move you up the ladder of awareness. But it's a tough road, and certainly, you know, sometimes it gets so painful that we need to numb it.
Yeah.
And that's when the artificial substances come in. It's not an uncommon theme, but it's one that so many go through. But getting yourself out of it and coming out of it as a better person, you know, that's a tall order. And when you're able to make that transition and kind of learn more about yourself, it makes the journey so worthwhile, especially now in your case. You have learned enough within yourself that you're able to impart your wisdom to others and maybe keep them from making some of the pitfalls that you may have done in your own journey.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, like, you don't have to be addicted to a substance. You can be addicted to your phone, you can be addicted to cookies, you can be addicted to anything, a behavior.
Yeah.
You can be addicted to codependency.
Yes. Yes.
You know, which is actually what brought me into recovery, because
Right.
I was
Well,
like, my
because-
husband won't do what I need him to do, and it's driving me crazy.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because one of the innate parts of you and your personality construct coming into this life, and we'll talk more about that in the perspective maybe about how we met in the first place, is you had a nurturing nature about you anyway. That just came from the core being who and what you are.
Yes.
But out of that, you were in an environment where it was a little dysfunctional in terms of the surroundings. So how you exercised that wasn't necessarily in the best way.
Not healthy, yeah.
Yeah, and that's, again, not an uncommon theme for so
No.
many people to go through. So it's an amazing thing to see the journey that you have taken. I used to be a treatment counselor, so I have worked with a number of folks who are in the 12-step program. Worked in a methadone clinic with polysubstance abusers, so I understand the modality very well. I had a couple of inroads here and there. I was able to fortunately get out of it before it got too bad. So I kind of I understand the road.
Yeah.
We tend to medicate our pain sometimes. That's just the nature of it, which is, from a spiritual perspective, we're all looking for the same things.
Yes.
It's just some people have to go about it in an artificial way. Hopefully you find that the more natural, innate way in terms of getting back to source is the way that we all should take, but not everyone gets there. It takes a while.
Right, and I think that is one of the favorite things that I do with women is coming home to themselves, because no one, not a person, place, or thing outside of yourself will ever fill the hole in your soul.
Right.
Will ever give you what you need, because what you need is within.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to find those answers, you keep doing the same thing.
Yes.
And you don't know what you're missing. And I think that's why I'm also so passionate. It's like, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that, like, you aren't aware that you are, getting the achievements, making the bank account, going on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next car and the house and the husband and the position and the title, and it's still so empty.
Yeah.
And it's just it's heartbreaking.
Yeah. I'm fascinated with your area of focus, because I grew up in a house full of very strong women. I'm the youngest of four. I have an oldest sister and two sisters and one brother. One of my sisters has passed, but my oldest sister is still here, and my brother is still here. But all of the women in my family, my mother and my sisters, were very strong, dynamic women. So I grew up in an environment where I appreciated and respected that.
Wow.
You know, but much like you described, they were doing many of the same things in terms of the expectation of fulfillment, achieving that fulfillment, but still feeling something was missing, still feeling that emptiness. So when you say and speak to that, I feel that very personally because I was experiencing that around me as I was growing up, you know, and admiring my mom and getting angry at my sister, but still loving her to death, and my other sister as well. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Now, with that in mind, I'm very interested in understanding the niche that you have chosen, because I think it's a very wonderful one, and that is empowered women who show a powerful front, but behind there's that gap. Can you speak to a little more to that? Because I'm really interested in knowing a little more about that. I think it'll be very helpful for our listeners.
The aspect of them having it all together on the outside. Yeah. I mean, again, it's the illusion that if I have all these things, that I will be complete and I will be okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work that way. And I think the other reason that I really, because the women I work with are heart-centered, powerful leaders. And they got into what they got into because they wanted to do something good. And I want to make a big impact. And that means that helping more powerful women step into their true power.
Absolutely.
Not the watered down version. Not the version that that is palatable. Because you can see where that's gotten us.
Yes.
Now, in the past, it got us burned at the stake. So there's a lot of, karmic fear. And especially when you can watch other women. And if another woman does stand up and she's bold, especially African American women, which I adore, they're too much and too loud and bitchy.
But when a man does it, it's like,
yes,
good for you.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, that is still triggering that wound within the woman who is trying to protect herself. And I think that's the other thing, as women, we have to come into community and support each other. Also as a mother of boy-girl twins, obviously I'm white. My kid's dad is white, and like, I will not raise a helpless white man. And we have been talking about, but I've watched my daughter naturally want to cater to him. And him expect everything. I'm like, is this just in your DNA?
Okay.
And it's like, we have to like decondition as we go. And so that is the ripple effect. So when I'm working with powerful women who have the ability to come home to themselves and truly lead from a place of authenticity, not obligation,
Right.
then it's way less exhausting.
Yeah.
It is way more effective, and it allows this synergy to form where, when we talk about patriarchy isn't like the women taking over. It's about the community thriving.
Yeah.
And all the research shows that when women get tons of money, they pour it back into the community. And so, and again, I'm not saying that, I'm not a man hater, because again, the patriarchy has damaged men as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the sense of like watching my son around 10 years old, learning to shut down his feelings as he started to pay attention to his peers. It's that
man
age.
up, suck it
Yes.
up, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
Yep.
no.
Yep.
Feelings, there's nothing wrong with emotions. They're
Yeah.
energy in motion.
Well, as soul, we are both
Yeah.
male and female energy.
Yeah.
And so that gross inequity in terms of balance,
Yeah.
you know, it affects people in very hazardous ways if it's not, you know, brought to their attention soon enough. So it's okay to feel, it's okay to cry. It's, yeah.
And with women, you talk about women operating in the masculine energy
right,
too much.
Right.
We are here to receive.
Yes.
We are here to receive. And let me tell you, that has been very challenging
Yeah.
for me. But like, you see women who can't even accept a compliment.
Yep.
Oh, it's nothing,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
it looks terrible, or like, no, like the point is to be filled up so that overflow pours in and magnifies.
Yeah.
You know, but like learning how to first like feel your feelings and understand the way your head has been talking to you this whole time,
Right.
and what has been driving the parts in your head that have been driving you when all of these are ages of you stuck, you know, in a different, you know, whether it's your 5-year-old self or your 14-year-old self. It's like helping them understand, what am I actually feeling right now? And where is that coming from? Oh, you know, when I first started, like many women I've worked with, like they didn't even know foods they didn't like. Or, you know, it's also amazing to just watch them achieve what took me, you know, 12 years to do in 15 months
Yeah.
or 9 months. You know, like that is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
Not just for them, but for me.
Right.
Because again, it's about the collective impact.
Yeah. Well, what are some of the things that you do, you know, in terms of getting people, you know, certain your clients back on the road to self-empowerment, self-awareness?
Yeah.
I think is a key part of it.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you kind of bring to their attention?
Yeah.
Because I've known you enough now. And we'll go into how we met and a little more about that. Well, I'll just say she was one of my wonderful clients with QHHT, so I was able to, and you know, you had an amazing experience.
Yes.
So we'll touch on that. But as you're talking to these people and trying to get them into the awareness of the road that they should be taking, or making them aware that they're not even aware of. You know, what are some of the things that you do
Yes.
in terms of getting them in?
Well, I'll preface
That
this
framework.
with, there's a difference between therapy, coaching, and consulting.
Sure.
So therapy is talking about the past, and talking about the past, and talking about the past, and maybe you'll get something that might help you in the present.
Mm-hmm.
Consulting is, I'm the expert in this field, and I'm going to tell you what I did, and you're going to do what I do, and then you'll supposedly be successful.
Right.
Coaching is, my client is the expert. I'm listening to what they're saying, what they're not saying. I'm using my intuition, and I'm also, you know, asking them questions.
Good.
Asking them questions so that they can come to their own truth. Now, intuitively, the way that my gifts are is that it doesn't matter how the issue is dressed up. I can instantly get to the core of the emotional matter. And my clients come to me because they need to hear the truth. They don't know that when they come to me. But what I consistently get back is, I've heard I can deliver a gut punch with a feather. I'm going to be combining also, I'm excited to offer Reiki along with my coaching, so maybe soften that a little bit. But, you know, the thing is like, if you want to actually understand, like, you can't do anything if you don't know what's happening, right? And so helping them see that
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to ask questions and get them to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I can just point it out and then ask the question, what are you going to do about it? Or where does that come from? Or, X, Y, and Z.
So hardcore truth is one of your superpowers.
Yes, yes. And I am a loving, compassionate place. But I am not going to keep from you what will get you out of your pain.
Nor should you.
Yeah.
You would be doing them a disservice if you did.
And it took me quite some time to really own that. Because as the people pleaser, as the let me not hurt anyone's feelings, because I do love people. I love people. I may not like all of them, but I love them.
Right.
I don't want people to hurt. I feel that, But I'm not going to keep from you what is going to get you out of pain faster.
Well, that's very refreshing. I wish more people took on that attitude. There's a Buddhist saying that whenever you are speaking to an individual, make sure that what you say goes through 3 gates. First of all, is it true? Second, is it necessary? And third, is it kind? And I try to aspire to that as much as I can, but there are those rare occasions where sometimes the truth that you need to tell doesn't feel kind, but in the real sense it is kind, because it's cracking something that needed to...
And I can say it in a soft way and still be direct.
Yeah.
Being sugarcoating or walking around it or not saying it for fear of hurting someone is not kind, is unkind, and it's lying. It's a disservice.
Absolutely.
It's dishonest. And again, like I said, I walk my talk. I am willing to give you all of the ways that I have messed up and done and been where these women have been and can still get. Because I'm human. It's part of the condition. It's not like I'm pointing a finger at them. I will join them in that's also another, somehow I can get in some wit and we'll be laughing by the end of it.
Hey,
so
it's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so that is amazing, the information that you just shared. It brings to mind a lot of the gifts that you bring to the clients that you work with are just innate in the sense of who and what you are. I do recall, though, when we first met, and that was you as a client to do a QHHT session, we had a pretty amazing session, and if you wouldn't mind maybe sharing some aspects of it when we did our past life regressions, because I'd be curious to know if those insights that you were able to receive both from the past life perspective and then of course what your higher self shared with you, how that has given you tools that you didn't necessarily have before. Because again, I think you came into this already strong, and to see where you are after having had that done, I'd be curious to know.
Yes, well, it's so wild that so I think it was the 3rd place we visited.
Yes.
Was actually a future.
Yes.
And so I had this vision of it's either me and a partner, or me and a business partner, or romantic, or both. And we were cutting this ribbon, and all the townspeople were there. We were cutting this ribbon to this community center. And it was so magical because in there was places for music and places to exercise and to do art and to, a place for the community to come and get nourished in the sense of any type of creative expression that you can do for the sole purpose of creativity.
Yes.
Because that is what actually,
I love that idea.
that is how things manifest.
Yeah.
We were put on this earth to manifest through our creativity, through see what's possible and what we can create, whether that's dance or poetry or music or sports or acting or any of it, right?
Let me know when you have the space. I might.
Right. Well, that was the wild thing, is that I had that session and that was really cool, and I was like, okay, I'll put that in my. I think I just filed it away.
Mm-hmm.
But when I recently met with the Girl Scouts of the Midlands,
Wow.
and I'm going to be working with them.
Oh, that's
they
amazing.
Yes, I'm so excited. So they invited me to to their building downtown Columbia, and I had never been there. The building is 2 stories. First of all, the building has a rock wall in it, which is so cool, right?
Okay.
So cool when you walk in.
Synchronicity is in play.
Yes. Then the downstairs is where they hold like corporate events, where people can rent out, where they can have galas and events. And this is part of their fundraising efforts to help with the Girl Scouts in the Midlands,
Okay.
which serves 22 counties in the state,
Okay.
including Greenville, South Carolina. And they're way more than just cookies. And so...
That's their new slogan.
Yeah.
We're way more than just cookies.
Yeah. And so I went upstairs, and there were like camp rooms and like a room for them to hang out, and a treehouse theme room, and a STEM lab room, and an art room, and an exercise room, and they were all multi-purpose, and it was so incredible. And they have like 2 like kind of like hotel suites for like when troop leaders want to come and like have camp. They had the USC had their students were on spring break, and I think they had the pages.
Mm-hmm.
The Girl Scouts come in and do like a page internship for the week, so they were campers there. And but when I got home, and I have this human design chatbot, and she was like, okay, dump all the information, like what happened, and I dump it all, and she's like, this is your vision. And I was like, oh my gosh!
Dots connected.
Yes! And so it's so amazing how doing the session, like that was one amazing future nugget that I had no idea how it was going to come to fruition.
Yeah.
But so cool to see it.
Yeah.
The other thing about my sessions were, I don't know if it was both of them. No, because there was one where I was in like Japan or something. But the other one, I had done a past life regression with someone else, I don't know, maybe a couple years before that. And my higher self took us back to that place to show me like, oh, that's been resolved. It's like empty. And so all of all of the generational curses that I've been breaking were clean and cleared. And so that was so...
Clean slate, not just for you, but for your soul group.
Yes, and for my children.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a ripple effect. We are one.
Exactly.
And when we choose to live in the vibration of love, we can't stay there, but to keep going back there, it makes a difference.
Yes.
And, I mean, that was just, 2 of some of the, like, just so cool the way it played out, Like, you don't know. You just don't know how it's going to show up in your life.
So how has that helped you moving forward in terms of the folks that you're working with and the things that you're doing?
Yes. So, I think more than anything, it subconsciously and consciously gave me a vision. I was in therapy since I was like 15, which is why I know the distinct difference between therapy and coaching, which coaching is moving forward, right? Addressing the now and moving forward.
Yes.
And getting that accountability and having someone cheer you on. So I was really past focused because I was stuck in a lot of shame. And so I would go back. Once I learned in recovery how to be present, I didn't really go in the future much because that was a scary place. That's fear. That's false evidence appearing real. Future events aren't real, right? And so when I found coaching, I was like, wait, you can decide where you want to go and like go that way?
Yeah, the futures are probabilities, they're not certainties.
Right. But I think also a way that I used to self-sabotage was I wouldn't set goals because then I couldn't fail.
Yeah.
So I never looked in the future. I looked in the past, all the things I had done wrong, to also confirm that I shouldn't even try. You know, so I think that is the things that gave me. I had only been given 2 visions when I ended up quitting my 20-year dental assisting career and going to getting my coaching certification. Is me on stage in a red suit and the picture of a globe with like 5 like Monopoly houses, but they were red. Red is a color, apparently. It was in my QHHT too. I was in a red kimono or something.
Right.
And this either represents the worldwide leaders or communities where we come together and we mastermind and we rest and we restore and we go back and lead our communities, right? And so then the gift of having that third piece, because I'm like, that's a tall order. Like, how do I get from where I am right here, which I was seeing one-on-one clients, and I knew, like, that's not where I need to be. And if anyone could rush their healing, it would be me. But divine timing is not always mine.
Well,
it's always better than mine.
The good news is you live in eternity anyway.
Right.
It's okay.
So it was exciting because now I feel like, especially the 3 different programs that I'll be doing with the Girl Scouts in the Midlands, is I know that it's the very first building block of that legacy.
That's so exciting.
That's
wonderful. I love that. That's awesome. That's
so
awesome.
thank you for doing what you do.
Well, I am happy to be a facilitator for the process, and I've just come to realize, and I think you can, we have that kindred energy. Nothing is by accident. Nothing happens, as a coincidence.
Nope.
So, in my last couple of episodes, I've been talking about the importance of finding what I call your consciousness tribe, the soul resonance of the folks who are around you. And so many people are looking, but aren't exactly sure how to go about it, or if they should even reveal the true nature of who they are, because very often we wear masks so that we can fit into societal expectations. But the 2 episodes kind of speak to it, one from the spiritual perspective of coming into that awakening and that resonance, and the second one talks about how do you actually go about finding it, creating that community. And I know you and I and another person that we've working with have been talking about that. So I think it leads us very nicely because in your own way you're building your community, you're building your group of resonant souls that are coming together, and synchronicity is doing the work. The fact that you and I have met and become very good friends, that's a testament to that, and we're just building that. So moving forward in that journey and with the work that you're doing, how do you see the future moving forward in that way?
Well, fortunately, unfortunately, and again, I don't pour into the negativity of the world. I have to protect myself.
Certainly.
So that I can raise my kids. And so, but like, it burns before it rises. Yeah. But it doesn't have to happen separately. And again, fortunately, unfortunately, we are in a time, the people who are here now have chosen to come this very time so that we can create the new way of being that we've never seen yet. At least that we remember, right? And it's like when, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I feel like right now is the last graspings of whether they know it or not, the love is coming.
Yeah. Oh no, it's an coming. Inevitability.
Right.
But we need to birth in that process by virtue of raising our consciousness and acting. There may have been an incarnation where you had an opportunity to speak and you chose not to.
Yes.
Now in this life, you could choose differently.
And I think to that point, it's every time that we stand up and we're fully authentic, it gives someone else permission to. And I am also guilty of not putting myself out there as much as I could. Because, again, social media is designed to be addicting. And when I first went on there, I was a late bloomer here. I still don't know how to use it very well. 2016. But I immediately felt addiction. And I was like, no, I don't like that. You know?
That was your
and the other thing, the cool thing is that I'm hearing a lot of people getting off it.
Absolutely.
Right? And so there's like the school platform and the circle platform, and there's these other communities. But I think what is important is something like what you're doing as this podcast is like being a beacon for, hey, if you don't like what's been going on in your world and you want to do something different, and this has come across your field, that's, again, not by an accident.
Right.
And if you can stay curious and open-minded, then you can expand your capacity to be real by watching others do it. And by having people like me help them. Help them understand how to do it for themselves.
Absolutely. Well, with my role as a QHHT facilitator, my job is kind of like a one and done, but I love being able to, if appropriate, pass on a referral to you so to let you know, hey, this is someone that might be, you help them with the things that they've come into being, so it's just a perfect rhythm, so I love how all of the things that we were talking about are coming together. You could see it unfolding, and it gives you hope, and it gives you confirmation and validation, and I think we just need to keep moving forward and doing the things that we need to do. I love your story. I love all of the things that you are doing for people and getting them to understand how to live their best life in their own way. What are some ways in which people can come and find you? Are you limited to people who live in the area, or can you speak to people online?
No, I can do either or. I am putting out a wait list for my Inner Authority Lab, which is going to be small containers, probably 6 women, that they can fill out an application for to really come together. And again, you don't have to be ready to change. You just got to be willing.
You just got to show up.
And you got to know, like, what I'm doing is not working, right? And this is why I want to work with small groups of women, because that's one of the most beautiful things I love about women's circles. Is like, when I share my vulnerability and a solution with it, right? I'm not going to like trauma dump, but it's like, people are like, oh, wait a minute, this is how this happens in my life. Me too. Wait, I'm not crazy. I'm not alone. No, this is how this happens for me. I thought I was the only one, right? And so that is what I like to do is, and we'll be having those small containers, for 6-9 months. Eventually I want to start doing retreats and then working with organizations like the Girl Scouts and coming in and doing, a series of programs to help them get these tools.
How can people get in touch with you? Do you have a website?
I do.
And we'll be sure to post it.
Yes, I'm sure you'll put all the links in there. My website is Journey to Empowerment, JOURNEY, the number 2, EMPOWERMENT.com. And then I'll have my link with my bio site that has like my link tree that'll have like where you can sign up for my newsletter and things like that.
Yeah, and I've been to your website. It's a beautiful website, very well explained, and I love some of the videos that you have are very empowering for women to hear. And
thank you.
So very good. Well, Mary Addison, I think we have just so quickly run out of time, but it has been wonderful talking with you. I look forward maybe in the future to have you on again.
I'd love to be able
to do that, and we'll talk more about your journey and some of the new and wonderful things that have come about the last time we spoke.
Sounds amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I would like to thank all of you for joining in on this episode of If We Are One. As always, if you find any of the information interesting and enlightening, please share with others. We are moving forward in a wonderful way in terms of empowering more people into the discovery and awakening of themselves within a oneness consciousness. So I encourage all of you to let others know about this. So in parting, I wish you peace and love. And if we are one, let us all live in peace, love, and joy.